My name is Samantha Javier, and I'm an international business major and double minor in Chinese and Japanese. This fall semester, I will be studying in Yokohama, Japan. I define my diverse background as two things: the place I grew up in, which is Hawaii, and my ethnicity, which is Filipino.
Hawaii is full of diversity where Pacific Islanders and Asians are the majority. Growing up here, I experienced different cultures and developed knowledge and skills that will help me when I go to Japan. Since my childhood, my family and I would go to Chinatown to buy food. From these trips to Chinatown, I learned a lot about exotic food, how to save money, and be resourceful with food when cooking. This contributes to my study abroad experience, where I will be living off campus and have to buy food and cook for myself on a tight budget.
Another place I often venture to is Waikiki.
Waikiki attracts many Japanese tourists. Every time I am in Waikiki, I practice my Japanese by speaking with the Japanese tourists, which is intimidating, but by doing this, I am building confidence and better language proficiency that will help me start conversations and interact with Japanese people when I study abroad in Japan.
Similarly, during high school, exchange students from Numazunishi, Japan came over to visit. That experience taught me how to make friends with Japanese peers and exchange cultural information even with the language barrier. I can utilize that experience to help me socialize cultural information with other students I'll meet in Japan.
My Filipino ethnicity has led me through cultural experiences that are valuable to have when I study abroad in Japan.
Filipinos value and emphasize being involved in the community. I've been involved in community outreach programs like the Relay for Life and Circle K International. My study abroad program in Yokohama also emphasizes being involved with the community. I can draw back on my past experiences with my community to the community service events in Japan.
3 years ago, when I visited the Philippines for a month, I experienced culture shock. From visiting these slum neighborhoods that were government regulated with tin roofs and no indoor plumbing, and to even living in the countryside with my relatives. It was all surreal to me.
I couldn't fluently speak Tagalog, the main language, so communication and adapting was hard. Eventually, I did adapt, spoke more Tagalog, and immersed myself in the culture.
Food in the Philippines, it was so delicious. From eating small little snails to even eating tripe. I definitely learned a lot more about my ethnic roots and expanded my horizons. This culture shock I experienced in the Philippines will help me prepare more for the culture shock awaiting for me in Japan and the transition from living in America to another foreign country for several months. But most of all, my diverse background has equipped me with the knowledge, experience, and skills that will contribute to making my study abroad experience in Japan a treasurable, unforgettable, and life-fulfilling journey.